So in this segment, we're going to be talking about a slightly stranger story, which is a French company was fined for hiring too many women to senior posts. A French mayor. Sorry, so Paris mayor Annie Hidalgo, which I probably butchered her name, um, as mocking response, told she'd broken the law by naming too many women to senior posts. So 11 women and 5 men have been promoted in 2018, breaching a national 2013 rule designed to bring about gender parity in employment. Paris authorities are being fined 90,000 euros. £81,000 by the Public Service Ministry. I'm happy to announce that we have been fined, Miss Hidalgo said. The 2013 rule meant no more than 60% of new appointments to management positions in public sector should go to one gender. Ms. Hidalgo's recruitment drive saw 69% of jobs go to women, and so look, I don't, I can see why they put in not like they said 60% of new. What's it called? Let's have a look at that again. One second. 60% of new appointments to management positions in public services should go to one gender, and the reason they've done that is if they discriminate, say 60% have to be women or whatever, maybe they'll get done for discrimination against men or whatever. Okay, so that's the reason why they said only you can't hire too much of one gender to try and avoid it. Why the way I see it is most likely the case was that there weren't a lot of women there in the first place, and so the only time I'd really care is if they employed someone, say a woman who was less qualified than a man, for example. If it's the case that you got two people who are pretty much equal for different reasons, and at that case you want to hire more women because they have not as many women or whatever minorities in that case, then that's when I think it's far more okay to do that rather than if you say, well, this dude's got a lot more experience, but this person's a woman, so boom, we're going to hire the woman. I don't know if that's the case, because if that is, then she could get sued for that as well if that comes to light, if there was a specific policy on just hiring women. So addressing a council meeting, the socialist mayor joked, the management of City Hall has all of a sudden become far too feminist. Another issue I have is this is most likely taxpayers' money that is going to go to pay this fine, which is ridiculous, because this was a hiring drive done by a team, and they are the ones that should be fined, not the taxpayer. So, but she also addressing a city council meeting, the socialist mayor joked, the management of City Hall has all of a sudden become too far feminist. Well, obviously the rules there in order to stop it from just being men who are being hired in public sector jobs. So yeah. But she also highlighted a continuing lag in the promotion of women to senior positions in France and the need to accelerate progress parity by appointing more women than men. And obviously, because typically, I'm not one of those people who is like uber feministy and all that stuff, but I do understand there are problems within the system. So I do understand it kind of when she says that there need to be more women accelerated into high positions because women are traditionally discriminated against. Okay, that makes sense. But she also, let's see, the lag in promotion to higher senior positions. I think it's fine if you want to push people, further up in the field, but also you want to make sure they have experience because you are working for the taxpayer in a public sector job. Like you don't want to be putting people up just because for the sake of it, for their gender. I don't know if that's what she's doing, because if she is, then you're going to get major problems down the line. From this, the fine is obviously absurd, unfair, irresponsible, dangerous. I think the fine is very excessive. France's public sector minister, Amélie de oh god, these French names, Montchalin, responded on Twitter pointing out that the law had been changed since 2018. In 2019, fines were dropped for appointing too many women or too many men to their two new jobs, as long as the overall gender balance was not affected. She invited Miss Hidalgo to discuss how to promote women in public sector, and she said she would. She said the fund would go towards concrete action. So overall, I think as long as they haven't put women up in certain positions just for the sake of gender, I don't really have a massive problem with this. I understand why the 60% rule is there. It's there to just stop a load of men from being hired, which that's fine. Because especially in political positions, we know that women are traditionally discriminated against, even for in this country to be selected as an MP. There's a reason why the Labour Party has all female selection lists and things like that, because they want more women into politics, and the only way to do that is for the selection panels to allow women in. I do think it causes problems up the line where people can say you only got your role because you're a woman and stuff like that, which that would no doubt happen at some point. I think what she's done is she's gone a bit too far one way. Um, I think she's gone a bit too far. I mean, she's 9% out really. So 69% of new jobs go to women when it's only meant to be 60%. So I think 100k fine is extremely excessive. Yeah, or 90k fine in euros is extremely excessive. And so long as no one was, as long like I'm saying, as long as no one was discriminated against just because they were, a man, I don't really have a problem with what she's done that much, given how bad gender balances are. As long as they're the right person for the role, and if it's about 50-50, 49-51, and you say, look, we'll give it to the woman because we need more perspectives in these planning offices, because there are certain issues that only women can understand. There's a reason why. We only got things like changing facilities in toilets and things like that, and that's because dudes typically didn't have to do that. There are many more positive changes. I'm sure more women could point out because they finally listened to women's concerns about certain things and they got them changed. So I don't see this as necessarily the worst thing in the world. I think that what she's done is fine so long as she hasn't done it just to hire more women for the sake of it, which part of me thinks she might have done. But at the same time, it's very hard to know her motivations unless she put out a memo saying specifically to hire women. So I found this a very strange story, to be honest. It is a bit too much of a fine. I think they should have been given a warning this time out, and then if they did this again, then give them a fine because 9% is being 9% out is not the worst thing in the world. Um, but let me know what you guys think about this story. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.